Hi, I'm Karyn Hodgins, creator of Nifty Numbers Family Math Night, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to get your 5th and 6th grade students to discover pi. Now we know that pi is the relationship between the circumference and the diameter of a circle, and we're going to guide students to figure that out as well, and we're going to do it using very simple materials. So in advance of the lesson you want to gather a whole bunch of circular objects. And when you're ready to do the lesson, I recommend putting students into pairs. And each pair is going to need a bunch of those circular objects, a calculator, a pencil, a pair of scissors, about 2 feet of string, and some graph paper. Now the first thing that you're going to want students to do is to get their graph paper ready. So they need to label their X and their Y axes. And I've got it right here. So they start down here at 0 at the origin, and they label all the way up and they label all the way across. Now I like to get students to do this themselves because it really reinforces the idea of making sure that those numbers are not in between the lines, but they're actually right on the line. Super important. And then I have them label their axes. So the Y is going to be across the object, and the X is going to be around the object. Now just a heads up that when the kids actually get into doing the activity, it could very well be that some of them have to tape another piece of graph paper onto their original piece, depending on the size of the circular objects that they have. Okay, and they can figure that out. They can problem solve that. Okay, so once they have that done, now you're going to show them the activity. And I usually teach this on the overhead projector, and I use a circle that's transparent just like this. And I got this from fishing tackle little containers, and I have it marked. There's a little mark right there, right on the edge. For the purpose of this video, though, I'm going to use this one here, and you can clearly see where I've marked it right there. Okay, so this is going to end up on the origin. It's where it starts. So I'm going to put mine very carefully on the origin, and then I'm going to do the very best job that I can to rotate this right around so that, oops, where is it goes? Okay, so I've got that right here, and right where that mark ends up on the line, I'm going to mark my, okay, it ended up about right there. So now I'm going to take that exact same mark, and I'm going to put it right on that line, and I'm going to measure across the object. So we go right there. Okay, so around the object and then across the object, and I'm actually plotting a point, and there it is. Okay, now I've also plotted 3 additional points for the purpose of moving the video along a little bit. Okay, so now the next thing that I need to do is give those a set of coordinates, okay, the ordered pairs. So this one here looks like it's about 4 2/3. So I'm going to say 4.66. We're going to do decimals here. 4.66. And this looks like it's about 1.5. So 4.66 and 1.5 for that point. And now we've got a point over here that looks like it's almost exactly 6.5. So 6.5, comma, and it's about, I'm going to say 2.1. I love those decimals. Okay, now the one that we just plotted looks like it's about 7.75, 7.75, and going up, it looks like it's about 2.66. So 2 2/3. Okay, and our final one, 8.25, and I don't know, what do you think? Let's see, 2.66. We'll do 2.6. No, it's not quite that, is it? Let's do 2.5. Here I am, so messy. Okay, I do this a lot in the classroom. 2.5. Okay, good enough. Okay, so now the next thing that they need to do is get their calculators out. They're going to help you do this. In the classroom, I've actually plotted a lot more than just 4 because we want a wide sample. But for this, I'm just going to start with those 4. Okay, so instead of having students do these real tedious long division problems, if you're teaching them about pi, they probably are pretty comfortable with doing long division. So we're going to use the tool, the calculator, to help us do the number crunching. So we're going to divide 4.66 by 1.5, and we're going to round to the nearest hundredths, and I get 3.11. So 3.11 for this one, and then we're going to do the next one, 6.5 divided by 2.1, and we've got 3.1. Ooh, those two are pretty close together. And then we've got 7.75 divided by 2.66 equals 2.9. 2.9, oh, I said we were rounding to the nearest hundredths, didn't I? Okay, and that would be 2.91. And the next one is 8.25 divided by 2.5. Oops, I did that wrong. 8.25 divided by, which is really nice to have the students in the classroom doing this along with you, because if you make a mistake, they will let you know. 3.3. Okay, so now we look at these numbers right here, okay? And we have students look for patterns. They're so used to looking for patterns. And somebody usually, kids are familiar with pi, 3.14. Somebody's going to say it's really close to pi. And yes, indeed, that was the point of the activity, 3.14, and it goes on forever. That was the point of the activity, to get them to see, to physically see and manipulate and create that relationship between the circumference and the diameter. Now, it's not exact, and you can talk to the students about that. You know, there's a lot of variables involved here, but the point is that, I mean, if we did do it really, really exactly, we would get very close to 3.14, and it looks like we actually did get pretty close to that. Now, the next thing that we do is we're going to have students take that string that they all have, and they're going to take one of their objects, and I'm going to use the object, obviously, that I did up here with you, and they're going to put it right on that line, and they're going to measure their circumference. So let's take this all the way around. I can do that. And I'm going to cut it right there. And now, ask them about how many times do you think this is going to go across, okay, the diameter of that circle. And the answer should be 3.14. So let's see. So I'm going to hold it here and take us right across the center of there. Okay, that's 1. And then that is 2. And then that is 3. And that should be 0.14 or pretty close to it. So now you've done this great activity where kids have gotten physically involved in understanding the relationship between the circumference and the diameter, and where that number 3.14 comes from. So have fun.